The party sat in the private dining room of the inn where they were planning the assault on the evil wizard's tower. Well, the coin I passed out and the drinks I plied the fellas with in the bar, they gave us some good information, said Robin the Rogue, uh, detailing what she had learned to the rest of the party. I know that there's a secret entrance on the back side of the tower, opposite the main entrance, and that all we have to do is climb up 20 feet, and we can get in on the second floor. I've been told, and my scouting of the area shows me that the stones are very rough, easy enough for us to climb, even for Wally. And then she said, but the one thing that is concerning to me is the wizard's spells. He likes to toy with invaders, and he has a lot of magical traps that are set up to both set off alarms and cast hold person on those who had come in. Connie the cleric, she steepled her fingers, rested her chin on her hands, and she said, well, in that case, it's good that I have freedom of movement memorized. I will be casting that on all of us before we go tomorrow. Welcome, everybody, to Divine Thursday. I'm your host, DM Gallibond. This is Divine Thursday for September 17th, 2020, and tonight we are going to be talking about the history of the D&D spell Freedom of Movement. All right, well, let's go ahead and get on with the show. All right, Freedom of Movement is a spell that didn't come into the game until 2nd edition, and it originally entered the game with a different name called Free Action. And the name had to change for a very important reason. That is because of a change in mechanics to the game. So free action was a touch. Duration is 10 minutes or 1 turn per level, 1 creature. Verbal, somatic, material components. And it enables the creature to move and attack normally for the duration, even under the influence of magic that impedes movements, such as web or slow spells or hold person spells, and while underwater. It even negates or prevents effects of paralysis and hold person. And underwater, you move at your normal walking speed, and all of your attacks with melee weapons deal the same damage and are not subject to the normal penalties of fighting underwater, which most versions of D&D have. So that's what the free action spell did in 2nd edition. In 3rd edition, they introduced a mechanic called a free action. So you could do things as a free action. So it would make it kind of confusing if you had a spell called free action, because they say I cast free action. Well, wait a minute. There's no spells that use a free action. No. The spell called free action. Oh, see how complicated that would be. So no, they just changed the name of the spell, and it became a freedom of movement. I should say, by the way, that in 2nd edition it was a 4th level spell. In 3rd edition, it's a 4th level spell that is now open for a wider variety of classes. 2nd edition it was clerics only. In 3rd edition, it's bards, clerics, druids, the luck domain, and rangers all get it as 4th edition or as 4th level spells. And it lasts 10 minutes per level, and the spell is harmless to those that it's cast on, but there is a saving throw, and spell resistance will apply. So you can move and attack normally under the spell, and it's almost identical in every way to the second edition spell. However, they add a caveat. The freedom of movement spell does not, however, allow water breathing. So you have to have you have to give somebody the ability to breathe underwater for them to be able to do all the fighting underwater, unless they're able to, come up for air or something like that. So, um, probably if you're fighting underwater, you don't want that restriction. So that would be yet another spell that would be required on the people who are going to have this for the purposes of underwater combat. Now, freedom of movement in 5th edition is once again a 4th level spell. Takes 1 action to cast. It lasts an hour, and it's a touch spell. And you touch a willing creature. So, for the duration, target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain, and spells and other magical effects can neither reduce the target's speed nor cause the target to be paralyzed or restrained. Target can also spend 5 feet of movement to automatically escape from non-magical restraints, such as manacles or creatures that have it grappled. Finally, being underwater imposes no penalties to target movement or attacks. And so these are all examples of this spell. They're all pretty consistent, and the thing that I think is interesting is that in 3rd edition it makes that specification, and so I think that would apply both to the 2nd edition and 5th edition, that this spell does not give you the ability to breathe underwater. So that's a good thing to remember as a DM. If one of your players thinks they can use this spell to both be able to breathe underwater and to have freedom of movement underwater, you probably want to make sure that, nope, you're going to have to start making con checks for trying to hold your breath, unless you also cast water breathing on the person while they're underwater. All right. Well, that's freedom of movement. I have been DM Gallibond. This has been Divine Thursday. Hey, if you like all the stuff that we're doing here on the channel, please like the videos, subscribe to the channel, share the videos with friends, and click that post notification bell so that you will get notified every time a new video drops. You can look in the description and find all the ways to follow me on social media and all the ways you can see the live streams that I do throughout the week. And check back every day because we drop new content every day, always a different type of content for every day of the week. All right, take care. We will talk to you later, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Good night, everybody.